This book is called The Hungry Leprechaun, and it's written by Mary Calhoun and illustrated by Roger DeVoyson. I hope I pronounced that right. So, do you want to guess who's reading with us? I'll give you a clue. He's got green feet, and he might look like this guy in the cover of the book. If you guessed a leprechaun, you guessed right. And look at all those green kisses. He's got his 3-leaf clovers, and he's got his green kisses. You know, on St. Patrick's Day, people say, "Kiss me, I'm Irish." Well, he got lots of kisses. All right, you ready to read? Let's read The Hungry Leprechaun. Once upon a time, and a very hard time it was too, everyone in Ireland was poor. The Irish ground was so poor it grew little but rocks and dandelions. Young Patrick O'Michael O'Sullivan O'Callaghan was so poor he had only dandelion soup to eat. Even the leprechauns were poor. Yikes! Have you ever heard of a poor leprechaun? I thought all leprechauns came with pots of gold. Didn't you? All right. So even the leprechauns were poor. Not a pot of gold amongst them. But Patrick O'Michael O'Sullivan O'Callaghan didn't know that. He believed in leprechaun magic. And he believed that if only he could catch a leprechaun, he'd be rich. He'd make the little man give him his gold. So every day when young Patrick went out to dig dandelions for dinner, he watched sharply for a stray leprechaun. Now the littlest of all the men lived in a cave under the hill by Patrick's house. His name was Tippery, and he was very, very hungry. One day, much as he feared to, he came out in broad daylight looking for something to eat. And it happened that Patrick O'Michael was nearby, digging his dandelions. Quick, sharp, he spied the little man, and quick, jump, he flopped his hat over the creature. Do you see that he threw his hat? And it got, look, his little legs, it caught him. He'd caught him. Patrick O'Michael O'Sullivan O'Callaghan had caught himself a leprechaun. "Give me your gold or I'll never let you go," ordered Patrick, very eager. "I haven't any gold, no more than you," said Tippery, all miserable and hungry. "Are dandelions good for eating?" Then Patrick O'Michael peeked under his hat and he saw that he'd caught the thinnest, the weakest, the most hungry-looking leprechaun that ever lived. Poor little leprechaun. And he was sorry for the little man, right? He felt bad for him. He was sorry for the little man. "Dandelion soup is better than nothing at all," he told Tippery. "I'll take you home and feed you some." That he did. Tippery's long, narrow ears perked up when he saw his bowl of dandelion soup. He sniffed it with his round nose, and then he lapped it up with his pointed tongue. Look how hungry he is. He's just burying his face in that bowl. Poor little leprechaun. Okay, but Patrick O'Michael O'Sullivan O'Callaghan still believed in leprechaun magic, and he cried, "Who ever heard of a leprechaun with no magic to make gold?" Tippery's long ears drooped. He'd used up most of his magic in the hard times. "Come now, where do you keep your magic?" Patrick insisted. "Is it in your pocket? Is it in your left shoe?" "In my fingertips, of course," said the little leprechaun. "But I was saving my wee bit of magic for the worst time of all." "Oho!" Young Patrick sprang up. "That worst time has come, my little man. I command you to turn this pot of dandelion soup into gold." "But I'm still hungry," Tippery complained. Will you make more soup if I do?" Patrick agreed. Now changing the soup into gold was stirring magic. But what to stir with? What should they stir with? I don't know. Let's see. It had been a long time since Tippery had made magic that he'd almost forgotten how. He screwed up his nose to think, and he pulled on his left ear. "Oh me, let me see," he muttered. Patrick danced about in a dither of eagerness. "Aha!" said Tippery. He blew on his fingers to warm up the magic. Then he stirred the soup with the feather from his cap. But the dandelion soup only spit at him. Oh no, his magic isn't working. Look at him, he's climbing in the bowl. "Maybe," said Tippery. He stirred the soup with a broom straw, and the dandelions curled up. "Or was it—" said Tippery. He hung over the edge of the pot and stirred with his long left ear. The dandelion soup rumbled and roiled. The dandelions disappeared. Oh no! And when the steam cleared, Tippery had a pot full of frogs! Look at all those frogs! Frogs everywhere! Little green frogs hopping about. Tippery's ears hung down. "I forgot how to make stirring magic," he said. "Let's dig dandelions and make some more soup." No, have faith. You can do it," urged Patrick O'Michael. He pointed to the yellow puddle of sunlight on the floor. "Sure, now you can change that into purest gold," he said. That was sprinkling magic, but what to sprinkle with? The leprechaun bit his pointed tongue, and he pulled his right ear. "Oh me, let me see," said Tippery. "I wonder," he said. He dibbled his magic fingers in the puddle of sunlight. Then he sprinkled it with the ashes from the hearth. The sunlight grew runny. "Oh, it's coming," shouted Patrick O'Michael. Suddenly it turned into a puddle of water. Hop, skip, quicker than jump, the frogs were in the puddle, splashing happily. Tippery slunk under the table, but Patrick hauled him out. "Try once more," he begged, but this time Tippery had used up all his magic, except what was in one little finger. Besides, he was very, very hungry. "Let's dig dandelions first," he said. So Patrick and Tippery went out to the fields and they dug dandelions. When they had a big pile, young Patrick pointed to all the rocks in the field. "If only you could change those rocks into gold," he said. That was touching magic, the hardest kind of magic of all. Tippery had to get the magic in his little finger lined up just right, and there was something he couldn't remember. "Oh well," said Tippery. He grabbed both ears and whirled around 3 times. He reached his little finger out to the rock, touched it, and there was a golden flash. Oh, what could it be? Quick, fast! Tippery ran about the field. Oh, what's in the field? Touching rocks with his little finger until all its magic had run out. Then Tippery and Patrick O'Michael looked at the rocks, but not a glitter of gold did they see. The rocks were still brown. Wait, there was one thing that glittered. Tippery's finger. Oops. Tippery's finger. Let's see. Tippery's little finger had turned into gold. Oh, the disgrace! Tippery looked for a place to hide. "Oh no," Patrick O'Michael wailed. "What good is a golden finger? I would catch the most forgetful leprechaun in all of Ireland." He's not happy he caught the leprechaun that forgets things. And he gave one of the rocks a mighty whack with his dandelion shovel. But what was that? But what was that? The rock split open and it was white inside. White? Tippery poked it. He smelled it with his round nose. He licked it with his pointed tongue. "We might try boiling it," he said. Patrick and Tippery gathered up some of the hard brown things and took them home. They put them in a pot of boiling water. What did they find? When the things had cooked, Patrick and Tippery each took a bite, and the things were good. "They may not be gold, but they're really good to eat," shouted Patrick O'Michael. "Hooray!" cried the little man. "We put them in the pot and we ate them. We'll call them potatoes." Oh my goodness, look at that. Can you see right here? It says we put them in the pot and we ate them. We'll call them potatoes. Like pot and ate. Potatoes. Then young Patrick and his leprechaun had fried potatoes for breakfast and baked potatoes for dinner and potato soup for supper. The next day they added dandelion greens to the potatoes and had potato salad. Look at them. They're so creative. But they didn't eat all the potatoes. Tippery said they must save some to plant, which they did. When the new potatoes sprouted, they gave some to their neighbors, and then those neighbors gave some to other neighbors. Soon all of Ireland had potatoes, but to this day, only the children's children of Patrick O'Michael O'Sullivan O'Callaghan remember that they can thank a hungry leprechaun for potatoes. Oh, I love that story. Now I'm going to think of leprechauns every time I eat a potato. Do you like potatoes? Well, maybe next time you eat one, you'll think of this little leprechaun named Tippery. That was a good book. Hey, Leprechaun, did you like reading that book about the hungry leprechaun? Oh my goodness! He has a potato! How did he get that? Oh my gosh, our silly leprechaun was so hungry he made a potato appear. That's funny. Well, thanks so much for reading with us. Come again and read soon. Bye, guys.